Mu, the sunken continent, when we understand the pestilating, the ice ages, and what took place in this coast of California here during the different ice ages, and how during the time here in California you'll find saber cats and other type of large prehistoric animals that were present here in California, in this coast, in this region, from in this Pacific Ring of Fire. So this subduction zone at one time was what some refer to in the ancient flood period, this period of this warming that caused, as many debate, of this ice age and this ice age period, and this time frame of when we see these different prehistoric animals like the saber-toothed tiger, and we see proof and evidence here in California of this quaking, of this subduction zone, of these different fault lines and these different tectonic plates that we see in these different ridge lanes in this volcanic regions that we see here existing in this coast. So it's not ironic. So the ancients, when they looked at this crossing of the El Nahar, this understand the Tanim and the Devourer and these ancient sea monsters, and how they viewed this ancient priesthood that traveled along these subtropics and tropical regions along the wind. So when we see this universal shamanism and dealings with the wind and spirituality, understand its effects in being able to use the wind to travel, to move. So these ports in the south, and these reed-style boats in the Sea of Reeds, and these warring seas, to leave in the wind and to come, these Asiatics would be known as Asiatics. So we see proof of this. We see proof of this in Louisa, in one of the ancient skulls found here in California. In Brazil, in this continent, right? Connected with the Australoid Melanesian. Now we understand the Anu people and the Toltec. That when we look at the Toltecs and the ancient region here of 120 degrees west of this ancient coastline, this border from 120 degrees west to 120 degrees east form this arc of a covenant. So when we see the different boats and this style of the formation of the crescent moon, this round tire of the moon, this Dicopegia, and this form of the woman, and traveling in her along her ways, or like the Milky Ways, and how this traveling, this solar traveling, following this mythos of the solar and the lunar connected together. When we look at this time of the crossing of the southern crossing, this is the connection when we get Osiris and Sirius and Orion and Orion's belt, and we understand Teotihuacan and the building of this pyramid of the moon and the sun, and this relation to the times and this ancient priesthood as we see present, the Dogon. We understand the Dogon, we got to understand the fish. And we understand the fish, the Nun, Joshua, the son of Nun, and this ancient prehistoric tribe. Now, as we come into later times, these different things get Babylonianized and mixed in with the heathen's culture. But understand, we were not to learn the ways of the heathen. So when we come back to these ancient natural forces and forces of nature, elements, alchemy, and we understand the particles and things that are within, positive and negative within them, destruction and life that they create, and the formation and their purpose and their balance, we'll learn to come back to the harmony that is truth, that is justice, that is what some looked at as Amat, Amits, the mother, the Ame, the promise. So when we understand this arc and this covenant of this beautiful situation of these coastlines, was the remembrance that the Most High, right, was not going to destroy. So when we see these coastlines, it's the perfection of this coast from 120 degrees east, and these people, these from Melanesia and all the way to the coast of California, are the same people as Louis Corus has displayed, the Hawaiian Islands and so forth.